Red Voyage News, splashing the check-in. Thank you for tuning in. I have an article right here brought to you by AsianNow.com. 2 articles, same topic, but it's from AsianNow.com. Used to be called ThaiVisa.com, but then they switched it to AsianNow.com. Now, what is ASEAN? ASEAN. ASEAN, just to simplify it, it's almost like the Chambers of Commerce for Asian people. I met several people who was a part of ASEAN, the organization. Basically, it's for Asians to network with each other that are in countries that aren't their home countries. So, like in Thailand, people that were a part of ASEAN were from like Burma, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Korea, Japan, the Philippines. All right. So they're from pretty much every other Asian country, and they would come together and network. There were some Thai representatives that were a part of ASEAN, but I just noticed that most of the people that said, oh, they were going to an ASEAN meeting or whatever, it was they were from other countries outside of Thailand when I was living there. But anyways, Thais, and let's not just put Thais into this. Pretty much all Asian countries are hunting for Africans, and just look at the language. In hunt for Omicron, Phuket health officials yet to locate 40 African tourists. So you're putting African tourists and hunt in the same sentence, in the same caption, the same title. So in the media, when they said this thing came from China, which it did, and Asian people were up in arms in the media saying like, hey, don't put this on us. You're putting the heat on us. And it's like, hey, we're just telling the truth. It came from China. Okay. They felt like they were being targeted. So now, well, actually, when all that was going on last year, they said, hey, don't call it the China flu or whatever. Don't attack Asians. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. They went on this fake campaign, this fake outrage campaign, saying that people were just attacking Asians all throughout the streets, which were isolated incidents, and they also happened to be in the same city. A couple of the incidents that they showed, like, it just seemed so fake and orchestrated. They've had bills signed by Biden on their behalf, and they've gotten a whole bunch of protection, a whole bunch of money. And, now they're changing the narrative from it being the China flu or the Asian flu to now it's, and these aren't my words. This is just coming from the media, to now it's like, hey, it's the Africans who got it. So let's hunt the Africans now. It was like, whoa. All right. We weren't using that language last year when all this popped off. We didn't say in hunt for Corona, we're locating, Asian people. We didn't say hunt on for however many Asian people, but they're using the word hunt when it comes to Africans, for people who traveled over from Africa who probably don't even have this variant. They probably didn't even test positive for it. How can they get through the airport? How do you get through the airport? If you did come from Africa, how do you get through the airport with a positive test result? Obviously, they had a negative test result. They showed up. Now, since this new variant came around, it's like, no, we're going to hunt for you and then send you back because it's probably hereditary. It's like, this is sickening. And with this variant, not only does it affect black people, it affects white people also. It affects a lot of white people too, because I've met a lot of South Africans, and, over the years, South Africa, they're going through a lot. They have gone through a lot. They're still going through a lot. The local Africans there, they wanted their land back, and they were taking the land from the farmers, and, the heat was on for a lot of white South Africans, right? But you still have that African passport. So when you come over to Asia and you got that African passport, they'll be like, hey, yeah, we know you're white, but we can't give you any favors on top of just because you're white. We can't show favoritism for you. You still have a South African passport. So, there's a lot of travel restrictions for people, anybody, no matter what you look like, for that South African passport. I personally know several South Africans or white, and it was like, for Americans, you could stay in countries like Taiwan, Japan, Korea for 90 days, right? But I met some South Africans out here where it's like they got to get a visa to come to Taiwan. And it depends on immigration on however many days they allow you to stay. So they could give you a 30-day visa, and then they could give you another 30-day visa. And if they feel like it, they're just like, hey, we're just going to give you a 14-day visa. Then we're going to give you a 7-day visa. I've met white people from South Africa who were going through that because immigration is looking at them like, hey, what's it taking? Why is it taking you so long to get your work permit? Don't you have all your paperwork? It shouldn't take this long. So I'm only going to give you this many days. So not only is this going to affect melanoid people from Africa, but it's going to have an effect on white people from Africa. You remember last year, like when all this was going down, when there was no variant that was coming out of Africa, it was all coming from China. Look how the Chinese people threw all the Africans out on the street that were living in China last year. Since they were feeling the pressure globally, it's like, oh, our image is tarnished. They just felt like, okay, since our image is tarnished, we're going to take out our frustrations on black people. And they threw them out on the streets. Like that was real disgusting. And now with this Omicron that's coming from Africa, it's like now they feel like they really have the green light to mistreat Africans once again. All right. As they've been doing way before the virus. As they've already been doing way before the virus. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment, share this video. I'm over and I'm out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Peace.